Thank you for your time, sir. So there is some unconfirmed report that NCP may likely have its national conference soon ahead of 2023. How true is this, sir?
Yes, we sent out a program of action starting from processes from local government primary to dovetail into the state. Then we are planning to have a national convention towards the end of the year.
Okay, sir. Is that part of the plan ahead of 2023?
Of course, we're trying to mobilize to know how we are going to strategize towards the 2023 general election.
Okay, that's fine, sir. Then I'm also aware of a report that NCP may likely work with some other political party to wrestle power from APC in 2023. Is there anything like this, sir?
Well, for long, NCP has always been open for alliances and discussion and collaboration. But NCP has never been interested in merger, except if the narrative of today changes, where we may have to rethink of our program. But that has to be done in a general discussion. But we are always ready to collaborate with political parties who share our same belief and ideology in order to put our strength and minds together to be able to fight the cankerworm who are in position of power.
Okay, sir. Taking it from where you just ended now, if we look at it from 2019 that APC has won the second term ruling party at this federal level, do you think the party or the Buhari's government has justified the vote that Nigeria gave to him in 2019?
Well, a lot of people there have been huge outcry as regards to how the government has been ruling the country. Quite honestly, a lot of us are not happy with the way in which governance is being administered to the people. These are the issue of insecurity and the issue of corruption, the issue of economic situation in the country. You will agree with me that at the moment now, many Nigerians are crying about the very much increase of price of commodities of food items, which is a common thing, which is the thing that the common man requires to survive. But at the moment now, it's been difficult. At the time we are buying a bag of rice at 7,000 naira, but today it's about 30,000 naira. A mugu of gari is skyrocketed from close to 50 naira to almost like 100 and something naira. So it's been difficult to say the least. So for us, the government have not really justified the vote that the people gave to them. This is the issue of making sure that the common man finds succor in governance.
Okay, sir, but when we look at it critically, it appears that the opposition parties we have in the country have been weakened by what we see in recent time. Everybody is moving to APC, and it's like the country is moving towards a one-party system. What do you make of all this, sir?
Those who are gravitating towards the APC are those who left it in the first place, who belong to either PDP or APC in recent times. So you see, some of them are already a member of the other political party before they left. These are this kind of individuals who have no principle or ideological beliefs. So they can easily move from one party to another without real justification. But for us, we find it difficult to do that because we have a principle ideology, and that is the way we take to go. So we cannot justify these actions of this individual. It's always just to protect their personal interests and their political ambition at the expense of the people.
Okay, sir. Ahead of 2023 general election, we realized that there has been a controversy over the bill passed at the Senate that there should be electronic transmission of the election when it comes to 2023. What is your perception of all this and this stand?
Well, I must say it is most disappointing that the legislatures will go down low in this regard. There's no way you can subject the position of INEC to the National Assembly or the NCC before INEC takes decision on the processes of election. It is completely unacceptable. And it is important we educate the people here by telling them that, look, what INEC does in terms of the issue of transition of results is more or less like a proof of what takes place at each of the voting units. For example, if an election takes place in the unit, what INEC does is that it gives every agent of a party that contests election a copy of the result of the election, and then they paste one at the polling station. And what the federal is just to now transmit that particular result by snapping the picture using their zipper to send the information directly to the headquarters for collation, thereby eliminating that particular cantankerous collation center, which leads to violence, creating apathy, creating insecurity, making the voters losing trust in the processes of election. So, for us, we find it very amusing, and saying that the National Assembly is saying that they do not agree for transmission of the vote. That means they want to rig the election ab initio, and that is unacceptable by the Nigerian people. It's better for them to resign, and I think it is high time Mr. President put his feet down, because they are trying to make his name and his integrity a mess. And I want to believe that Mr. President should not assent to this document until when the amendment is properly done for the interest of the people.
It's all right, sir. The other thing is about the masses that are going to vote. From your perspective, do you think Nigerians are ready to do the needful come 2019, because the political party are closer to the general masses?
Of course, the people are ready to vote, and that's why they are coming out en masse to continue to register, especially when the registration process is already on air, so that they want to register and vote for the persons of their choice, so that they will not be manipulating the system and then bringing in individuals that don't have any business with governance, as we've seen in the past. So at the moment now, it is expected that Nigerians who are ready to vote should be able to come out also at the same time to reject any form of action that would manipulate their vote. So an INEC, from what we are seeing, is ready to do the right thing. And that is why they've come out clearly to say they can transmit that result electronically, and they can cover the whole federation just to clear their name, rather than this particular National Assembly that are trying to keep them bad names in order to just continue to be in power. So for me, the Nigerian people are ready and they are willing to do the right thing.
Oh, okay, sir. Some people in the country, some stakeholders believe that there may not be general election 2019. Especially considering the agitations that we have in the country, and how the government has treated some parts of the country. What is your view about this?
Well, see, governance is a different thing. When it comes to voting, it's a different thing entirely, because a lot of people who want to govern, who want to change the narrative, are already ready, and they're ready to mobilize people. Don't forget, we've had serious challenges in this country, and then the election still took place. Almost the whole of the northeast at a point was consumed by Boko Haram, and when people are being moved to ID camps, but still voting took place in different places, and gradually peace has started returning to that particular side of the country. And I want to believe that peace too will return to most of the areas in which these agitations have been. I agree that a lot of challenges are on the air that make the people agitate. But at the same time, the best way for any kind of correction is for us to vote for the right people. Look, let's even assume that the country is engulfed in a war. Take a look at Libya. Take a look at Egypt. Take a look at Sudan. Take a look at any other country that have been engulfed in civil war. At the end of it, or what will end it, they will tell you to go back to a drawing board for you to negotiate. After negotiating, then they will tell you to go and do election democratically to elect new leaders. That's what takes place. And in that situation, after killing people. So why do we have to resort in killing and maiming people when we have the power in our hands to change the narrative? So I would advise that any other person that is making agitation, agitate with your voter's card. Register. Start selecting and electing people who will know will run your local government credibly well. Start selecting people that you know will run your state assembly very well. Start selecting people that you know will be credible people that will govern you as governors. Because especially the governors, they create so much problem and they have so much power, yet they will start to say a lot of things. Meanwhile, if they have governed the people correctly in each of their states, many of the legislation wouldn't have taken place. And so also the same thing goes to the federal government. If the federal government is doing the right thing, a lot of the agitation wouldn't take place. So that means that we need to elect the right people in the right places so that our agitation will stop. Rather, we will start thinking about how to move the country forward. That is the best standard anywhere in the world. And that is exactly what will take place, whether you fight yourself or kill yourself. This will end up in a polling station. So use your vote now.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. I want to ask you this question. We can see that two major people that appears leading agitation in the country are said to have been arrested. Nnamdi Kanu was arrested a few weeks ago. Sunday Igboho too has been arrested. Do you think our federal government doing this is a way to curtail the agitations from the people?
You know, the federal government has their fault. It's their inability to do the right thing that led to all of these individuals making all of these agitations. I mean, take a look at what happened in Iganga, in Ibadan, and all of those ones. Had it been that the state government and the federal government were able to deal with whoever is being accused? Look, if you commit a crime in Ibadan, it doesn't mean that a law has a coloration. The law is blind. It doesn't know whether you are Hausa Fulani or you're Yoruba person or you're a Hausa person or you are an Igbo person. They should have arrested whoever is responsible and deal with it immediately. But they allow it to go to a level that individuals now become soldiers who are supposed to be protected, become soldiers. You have a Gumi in the north talking about how to rescue the country from war. You have a Sunday Igboho talking about agitation or talking about he started from defending the people now to agitation for secessionists. And then the same thing happened to Nnamdi Kanu, asking for secession. But you see, a country is governed by laws, rules, and regulation, and that rules and regulation must be allowed to take its place. If you commit a crime against the state will always take issues against you. Now, I would have preferred the stick and carrot approach by saying that all areas in which these agitators have been raising issues will have been dealt with according to the yearning and aspiration of the people. Then where the government fails and is not doing the right thing, then they have themselves to blame. And anybody who is agitation should not agitate in such a way that it will cause mayhem and unacceptable position to the people and costing the country a lot of situation. Even you, if you are the president, you will take decisive steps. But whether the decisive step now is in the right direction according to rules and law must be done democratically. This is what we will accept.
Okay, thank you, sir. I want to ask you a related issue to electoral matter. We can see that some people are clamoring that the president come 2023 should come from the south. And we see some northerners that have already been kicking against this. What is your perception about all this? And what is this?
You see, it's unfortunately, a lot of people have played to the gallery. I have been on the position of having an Eastern president, not because of anything, but the fact still remains that for us to have a united nation where everybody is having an opportunity to run for election at any point in time, there's nothing wrong with having anybody coming from any part of this country to run for election, be it east, west, or not. And I also want to state that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria did not give any right to any person or any group of people to say this is where a president must come from. We did not have it in our Constitution, except of course if you have it as a restructuring proposal that people are saying. But at the moment now, we don't. But for fairness and equity, it is good that we have a southern president at the same time. So I will support it for a certain president to emerge, but it cannot be done under duress. Any country where those who are asking, look at the teaching, you cannot be asking for a secession and then at the same time you are asking for governance. It does not meet. The two does not add up. You either look for governance or you look for secessionists and you stay there.
Okay.
So, as far as we are concerned, for those who are agitating, they should not clamor for leading the country. Because definitely, the moment they get the country, they will break it into pieces. If they are agitating. But those who are asking for unity and all, yes, of course. So the unity is the most important thing. So anybody who wants to build this country, please should go back to the drawing board and ask and continue to look for the unity and correcting things that are bad in this country so that we can move together as a people. We have better things to achieve than dividing our nation.
That's quite great, sir. I want to appreciate your time, sir.
God bless you and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.